late. It is no longer summer break. They got 4 days off and they are in summer school. But I'm just gonna wait for people to get on. And I tried a new mascara out of my little set that I will say it was a no. I used it 2 days and didn't like it. Major fallout, major transfer. No, thank you. But we're gonna do our makeup today. I'm gonna try to do something kind of like a date because today is my wedding anniversary and I have a lunch date. When you get with the kids, man, I just don't think babysitters are worth it. I'm still cooking dinner. I still got dishes to do. And I got to arrange this. I'm like, eh. So kids started summer school, coincidentally on the day of our anniversary. Hello, Pam. So I thought, why don't we go have lunch? The kids are in school. Let's go have lunch. So we are. We're going to go have a lunch. And yeah, happy anniversary to us. 9 years. Been together for almost 15. And I don't know, what do you do for a 9-year anniversary? I need to look it up. I used to look up the year and what it meant, and then you could get a gift. Hello, Brandy. Hello. So we're going to do kind of a date look, and I'm going to use colors that are part of the sale because why not? And yeah, I think I'm going to use Winterberry. Thank you. And I'm going to go with Anne. Thank you. So yeah, it's been a kind of a wild few hours around here, wild 12 hours around here. Yesterday was Father's Day, and for Father's Day, he wanted to go on a hike. He did not adequately prepare me for what our hike was yesterday. I hurt everywhere, and I wanted to make it nice. So I pack a beautiful picnic. I have a special backpack that I got that is not a hiking backpack. This is an Amazon cooler backpack. I mean, it has a roll-up little blanket that attaches to the side. The whole thing is a cooler. There's all the things. I pack him this he doesn't tell me. He told me where we were going, and so in my head I had an idea. No. This was a 3-mile up trek with lots of, what are those called? Where it zigzags in certain areas to get you higher. It took us 2 hours. My backpack weighed 30 pounds because I packed lunch for 4 people. Anyways, oh my gosh, wore us all out. So let's get started on the eyes. I'm going to do my prep. So Singen's Shadow Sense and a BK Beauty brush. Anyways, we get to the top and I'm going to pull some weights because I'm not a bro. We had a wonderful lunch when we finally got up there. He offered to carry the bag for me and I was like, you know what? No. And I will carry this. I made my bed. I'll do it. But this was a 3-mile up hike. Took us 2 hours. Switchbacks. Yes. Thank you, Anne. Switchbacks. Oh my gosh. He's like, there's only 5 more switchbacks. Wrong. There were 8. And then they made a new switchback. Blue little flags. Took us to the wrong spot. Had we taken the original path, would have been a lot easier. But this took us to a viewpoint that we weren't going to because we were going to go to the top of this hike. Anyways. I'm gonna prep. Anyways, I feel like it wore us out. My 10-year-old daughter, tell me if anybody has experience with this because this is like where I vent out, right? I vent out here almost every Monday. Who has kids who sleepwalk? My 10-year-old has always suffered from night terrors, and now they've gotten better where it's just walking around crying, but she sleepwalks. And I've always been a little nervous about the sleepwalking. Well, last night it reached a new level. My husband woke up probably 10 o'clock. Not really woke up. We were just falling asleep. We go to bed pretty early, and then, you know, I mindlessly scroll for a while. And so does he. So we go close our eyes. We're going to sleep. We're almost asleep. We're at that comfortable, almost sleep place. You know, I had my pillows just right. They're extra fluffy, and I felt squished in. Anyways, he's like, did you hear something? No, we got the fan going. I don't like the fan because I want to hear every sound in my house. Anyways, he needs the fan, whatever. I don't hear anything. Well, then I start hearing her cry. So I know she's up. I know she's walking around. She sleepwalks 2 to 3 times a week. This is normal. Does anybody have kids who sleepwalk? So I get up to go get her and to get her back in bed. Like, I've walked out and she's been holding a fork walking out of the kitchen. I don't know. She's taken chips to her room. Yeah. So I walk out of her room and then I hear our garage door close. She's heading outside. She's heading outside. I fly down the stairs. I open the door to our garage and she's at the exterior door. It's open and she has just walked out. Terrifying. Terrifying. Had she not been crying, I would not. Oh, all the things were running through my head. I get her back in bed. I get in bed and then I lay there and I think of every awful scenario, everything that could have possibly happened. Aliens, werewolves, bears, stranger danger, like all of the scenarios. Like she could have climbed a tree. She could have gone into the chicken house. Like all the things. Oh my God. Anyways, got her into bed. So then I get up. I go downstairs. I proceed to sit and, I was just in my own head. I am so curious who has experience with their kids sleepwalking. I ordered I ordered a childproof lock because we have French doors on our front door. So I got the little ropey thingy to rope together the door at night so that if she unlocks it, she at least can open it. And now I've gotten a 2-pack of little doorbell thingies so that you stick it to the door. And when it opens, a little thingy will chime. And so I'm going to put one on my garage door and on their bedroom door. Please tell me this like goes away. Please. I don't even remember going down the stairs. Anyways, if I could get some regulars to say hi, that would be awesome. Okay, I'm going to go into some colors here. We're doing a date look, a day date. Day date, we're going to do a light eye. I did a really pretty color the other day using As You Wish. I find this color, when you do pick it up, it is gorgeous. I do find it a little on the hard side to pick up. All right, but anytime you're doing your eyeshadow, you should prep it with a really great base that's going to keep your eyeshadows from creasing. And I'm going to use the color, I'm wearing blue, so we're going to go with, is it Lily? Lily is a lavender color, so pretty. It makes it more of a light and bright lid, and it'll help other colors stand out. So I'm just going to put this from lash to brow bone, and then I'm going to prep my brow bone with a soft shimmer. And I think I'm going to use As You Wish. It's so, so pretty. Maybe I'll use Photoshop today. Okay. Anyways, so we're going to put that on, and I kind of, let's see, As You Wish, where are you? As You Wish is a really pretty peach tone with a pink iridescence to it, and it's really pretty, but it can be a little bit hard to pick up. I started my live at an off time. I need my regulars to pop in if we can, because, you know, just need to push down the weeds. We need to push down the weeds. Okay, so we're gonna pop this shimmer on, and this is just a peekaboo color, and I'm gonna use it on the lid, but I'm so sad some of these colors are going away. So there are eyeshadows that are 50% off, so they are $7 a color, which is great, but these $7 colors won't be back. I am gonna use, let's see, what kind of shadow do we want to see today? Do we want to, no, I don't want to do gradient because day date. I want this look to matter today. We're going to do Havana because it's bright and light. It's like the bright, good version. Hello, Alice. Thank you. All right. Oh, yes. And I can't wait for everybody to get their order. What did you get? Okay. What did you get? Did you get illuminators? If you didn't, here's my thing. Shop this sale. Did you get any of the powder illuminators? Because if you didn't, you should. All but Goldie. And so if you shop the sale, I have water in this, I'm gonna have a little cough. Oh boy. That's what you get for 5 hours of sleep. Might have been 4 because when I went to bed, all I could hear was the fan. I had to turn it off. Okay. But you shop, earn your points, get your stuff. You're usually at work when I'm live. Yay! Oh, I'm glad you're here, Kelly. Yay. Okay, but shop the sale, earn your points. Once you've gotten everything you want to get for the sale, go to the upper corner, click on your little human, see where your points are. Because there is I need to get another one and I need to go check my points. But they're lip oils. They're so pretty. They have a new one called Sprinkles. And you can only get it with your points. It's 200 points. So if you've earned at least 200 points with your purchases, especially with this sale, with it mixed in with some of your other ones, spend the $4.95 on shipping and get that Sprinkles. It's so, so pretty. And I just think when the sale is over, that's exactly what I'm going to tell people is go cash out some points and get yourself Sprinkles because you can't get it except with points. Okay, we're going to go into Havana because we're going to go a light, bright color, and I'm going to keep this up high. So from the front, I am not hooded, but I'm not going to move my eyes. I'm not going to move my brows. I'm going to leave them still, and then I'm going to turn. Do you see that? Let's zoom in. Okay, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm hooded. This droop right here, I mean, I'm of an age, and so from the front, it's very misleading. And then from the side, I have this hood. So I'm going to take this Havana color, and I'm going to put it right here. This is where I want this Havana color to show up. Right here. This is a lighter, brighter version of Leo, which is my favorite transition color. But I keep this up top, and this is why I put that shimmer on the brow bone right here first, because I want to put this transition color where I want it. If I put that light powder shimmer up here after, it just pushes that down. Bing, bang, boom. Okay. Let's see. Bing, bang, boom. Okay, what are we doing here? It is currently 8:39 here where I am. Let's see, I'm trying to stand by. All right. We're going to keep this light and bright, and it just helps hide, and it elevates, it helps to hide this very heavy droop that I have. So we have the droop, we put this color over here, and then I push it over, and I just let that shimmer peekaboo out. Peekaboo out, super simple. Boom. See? Very nice. And you can stop here at any point. I use Babe Lash Serum, and it creates a good amount of lid discoloration. I get it down here. I have it on my lids. So there's days like today, for instance. I've actually already done my makeup once today and came home and washed it off for this live here. And because I had to go drop my kids off at summer school, and I was walking them in because my littlest, she is at a different school. She's changing schools, big girl. She's going to 3rd grade. And that's at a different school. And so she wanted me to walk her in because she didn't think any of her friends were there. Well, while we're waiting, here walks all her friends. And so I walk in and she ditched me. So I left. Anyways, I did my makeup, but because I knew I was going to be doing this, I didn't want to do the eyeliner and all the things. So I just did my little wing thing. But that discoloration from the Babe Lash really looks like a great everyday eyeshadow. Okay, so sometimes it works in your benefit. All right, let's do another color that's gonna go away. I just don't know what I want to do. I like doing a sunset eye. Let's do the sunset eye again because it's fun. Okay, and these are colors you maybe wouldn't do yourself. So my 2 favorite starter colors are Havana, which I just used, and Leo, which is right here. And so it's a little bit lighter and brighter, and this is Leo, my favorite. So, so pretty, okay? They're a little scary. A lot of people turn their nose up at them. They go with everything, and it's a great little peekaboo brightness that you can add. The next color I'm gonna go into is another scary color, Mija, And this is a pink tone that's gonna be so pretty as a sunset. So we're gonna pop a little bit on. This is I love doing this. We're gonna push this, I hold my brush up and down, and I hit that brow bone, and I go right at the base of that orange Havana color. And I'm lightly adding this on, but I always come out onto this extra amount of, I don't know, lid droop. But I keep that at the base, not in the crease, but at the base of that brow bone, and I blend that upward into that orange, and it creates this really beautiful sunset to the eyes. Isn't that so pretty? And then you can go and do any color you want. Okay. Let's see. All right, so we're gonna grab that. Havana is so pretty. Add to cart. There is a link in the description for you to shop. If you, I always do my eyes first. If that's one tip to give with any makeup you're using, is do your eyeshadow before you do the rest of your makeup, because you're gonna get fallout, especially if you have a pretty prominent orbital bone like I do. It's gonna fall out, mix into your makeup, and it can make your under eyes look more mature, and it's gonna make you look older than you are. My eyes, I feel like without makeup, are what show my age. That's just what I think. I mean, I don't think I look bad without makeup, but I don't feel my best. All right. Okay. Daylily is so pretty. I love it. I used it as my blush this morning for just like a really subtle out the door, blah, 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 but out the door kind of thing. Okay. It's going away. You ordered it on the sale. Good, good, good. I use it for so many things. It's great as a lipstick, but you really want to go get this. It's 25% off. It's the lipstick. If you didn't get the Diamonds Are Forever, I have multiples of this. I take it to all the weddings I do. I'm doing another wedding next summer, and I always gift one of these to my bride for her to have with her after I leave, and because it's so good. But such a good top, because the satin finishes like Daylily can look really dry on the lips and very textured and cakey, and frankly kind of gunky on the back part of your lip. So if you have something like a lip gloss, I really like the Lip Whip. I just think it's a little overpriced, but I like to top it also with the Diamonds Are Forever. Okay, we're gonna add another color. I wanna have some fun with these colors, but I just cannot. I didn't bring my computer in here with me, so I'm just not of my right mind. Let's see. I am gonna go into Spell. It's my second favorite to Philly. Look at how pretty that is. It's really nice. We're gonna press this on. This is the Blur brush, and it is part of the sale. Very pretty. It has a nice big end and then a fluffy end. We're gonna take Spell, and I'm gonna pop this right there. And I pull it outward, out past the outer corner, and I build. These colors are so well pressed, and these colors spell Havana Mija, $7. $7. There we go. And so I'm just going to use this as a bit of an accent, and I'm going to bring this down. Don't really need a lot of help down there because I have a lot of discoloration from mascara, but also from my lash serum. Lash serums are pretty well known for discoloring. So when you have a hood or a heavy droop like I do, and I have my eyebrows up right now, but you want to make sure you're pulling these colors out and onto that excess space. You have a lot of real estate, use it. So when you rest, all my color just went away and all that's showing is my sunset eyes. So I'm just going to grab a little more Spell, and I'm just going to pop that right there. That way I kind of know where it needs to go to, and I bring it around. Light hand. All right. So we're just going to bring that out and around. Eyeshadow takes more blending than you think. A lot of tutorials out there. That's why I like doing these lives. It kind of gets us into a conversation about, you do need a lot of extra blending and a light touch. If you have eyeshadow that needs a lot of pressing, there's that, okay? But as you get older, there's things fall, things happen, okay? My jowls start, my lids start, maturity happens. I am 44, I'm gonna be 45 this year, and no, I am not in Cedar. Rapids. No. Anyways, so we're just gonna keep that out here, and I'm gonna take this fluffy end here, and I'm just gonna give the outer part a buffing. And you can get this out of hand, and you can blend it all the way down here if you want to, because you can fix it when you do the rest of your face. Because I got stuff. Again, I've got breakouts, I've got scarring, I've got hyperpigmentation. And so I really like my makeup to makeup. Makeup will always look like makeup, but when your skin is changing, and I don't do the Botox or any of those things, so my forehead moves, all the things. But you should find a makeup that works with the skin you have, not the skin you had. Because if you feel like your makeup formula maybe changed, it just doesn't work for you anymore, it might just be because your skin is changing. All right, so we're gonna press into some spell. We're gonna do the same thing over here. We're just gonna press that out, and that just gives us a starting point. And then along that lash line, pull it outward and then hit that base. And I'm just gonna keep this on the outward area here. This is a really color if you wanna do a gradient look too, which is really just really pressing it along the lash line and all over the lid and fading it in an out and up motion. I like all my eyeshadows to be in an out and up motion. And no matter where I place them originally, this area is always a blending focus. I always want it outward and upward, because it's gonna add width and lift to my eye, okay? Hold on just a second. Let's see. Vanna, you just let me know if you start getting uncomfortable. Okay, we're gonna go into As You Wish. It's so pretty. It just can be a bit of a bugger to pick up. And so sometimes I just have to scuff it up. You can kind of see right here is that film. There we go. Okay, there's a bit of a film right here, and that is just, where did I chip my nail? Anyway, there's a bit of a film, so it gets hard to pick up. I've scuffed it up here, so I'm gonna rub it. And then I'm gonna press this onto my lid, and it's just a really nice soft shimmer, but I do feel like you have to kind of work it. And we pop that on, and it just creates a really nice soft shimmer, and it does add a bit of a pink glow, and I'll decide at the end if I want to just add a little more pink. Okay, Vanna, I already blocked him. Don't worry, he's already blocked. So we're just gonna press this out and up. I already pulled that weed. People are weird. It's a makeup live. What are we doing? Go to Tinder for fun. Got him blocked. All right, so that's the eyes for right now. I may decide to add more. I don't like to decide my eyeshadow until everything's done, and then I can add more. Because sometimes you can feel like it's really loud or it's played down, but then you put the rest of your makeup on and it all clicks together. I also wait and do my brows last because I always mess it up. Okay, let's do a little bit of liner, and I'm gonna waterline with my Maybelline Tattoo Studio. Who has gotten this and tried it? Okay, so we're gonna pop that on, and we're gonna just work our way from the outside in, but stop when your lashes stop. And you don't have to worry if it gets above the lashes, but I just go basically where my lashes are going. I try not to go too far out or too far in, but this is not for everyone. If this bothers your eyes, don't do it. I just feel like it makes my lashes look a little more full, because again, another fun thing about getting older is your lashes thin. But I also used to do those extensions and the glue-ons, and I like the glue-ons. It's just more work than I want to do, honestly. All right, I'm going to take the Endpoint brush, which is this great brush. It's not part of the sale, but it is a new brush. And I'm going to take the Professional Super Setter Spray and spray it. It has such a nice fine mist. And we're going to go into Salem. I've been really enjoying eyeshadow look at that. You can tell I tap into that a lot with setting powder or setting spray. But I like the softness of a powder liner. It's not as harsh. And so we're just gonna take this brush here that I sprayed with setting spray. I prefer setting spray over water. Okay, so we're just gonna take this black, and I'm gonna start in the middle with the finest tip of this brush and I'm gonna work it down my eye, and then I'm gonna wing it up. And I like a tiny, but because I have that heavy, I don't have a lot of real estate where I can do a lot of eyeliner because it'll transfer and get lost in my little outside hood. And so we just build as we need, but this brush is so well shaped for doing a tiny but mighty wing. And I like a tiny but mighty wing for those people who say you can't see it. You know, I don't do it to be seen. If I wanted a big, bold, dramatic wing, I would, but I'm not. What I'm doing here is I'm adding width to my eye and lift. You can just see how the shape of my eye changes just by adding that little bit of depth on the outside. You don't need to go and do all the expensive things to add lift and youth to your face. It's about finding placements and makeup and making makeup fun again. Making makeup fun again. Makeup should be fun. I was just talking with my daughter, had a little friend over, and every time she sees me, I always have makeup on. And she goes, why do you like makeup so much? I go, because makeup's fun. She goes, makeup's not fun. It's just something you have to do. I said, what? Makeup should be fun, or we're doing it wrong. Makeup should always be fun. It doesn't, just because it's not wild and crazy Halloween colors doesn't mean it's not fun. You should always be playing with your makeup and trying new things, especially as you get older and the shape of your face is changing and your skin is changing. You should always be having fun with makeup. Okay, I got the Benefit kit with these eyeshadow or mascaras. FanFest, I've been using it for weeks. I really, really love it. It goes on really well. It doesn't fall out. It doesn't transfer. It takes a little work to take off, but it stays when you put it on. It adds fullness, and I like fullness over length. I use my Babe Lash to get my length. All right, I just tried this rollerball. I don't like it. It falls out, it transfers. I had little, I don't even know how, but I guess I was just having a great time this weekend, but I had all this transfer down here fall out. It was terrible. And it made me look more mature. It made my eyes look more deep set. So I didn't like it. So we're gonna move on to the next one. It only took me 2 tries. The first time I was like, okay, could be a fluke. Second time I was like, no way. And then once it starts getting thicker and drier from use, it would just get worse. So I said, you know what? No roller lash for me. All right. Let's try Bad Gal Bang. I've used their reel, so I'm gonna save it for last because I've already tried that one. I do know that I like it. This hair, guys, this is definitely a makeup tutorial, not a hair tutorial. Okay, we're gonna go with this one, Bad Gal Bang, and see how this works. So I have I'm staying zoomed in because I have a real method to my madness with my mascara. A real particular way I like to do this, and sometimes using mascaras a few times, it gets better as the mascara thickens with air. So we're gonna take this, let's see. It's another, I don't love these silicone brushes. The Babe Lash Serum that I have, they have a mascara called Their Real. It's a turquoise bottle. I don't like these silicone brushes at all. Theirs I did like. This one's straight, not bent, and it's very long. So let's see how this goes. So we're gonna wiggle at the root and lift. And all I'm doing here is trying to build product on product. And so I always have a little mirror so I can get all up in my business, but I wiggle to get my lashes into those bristles and lift, wiggle, lift. And this is just gonna give the illusion of having fuller lashes because we're stacking product on top of each other. And by giving the pull, it keeps it from clumping. But do you see, this one's pretty good. This one is pretty good. I always use the tip to make sure I'm fanning out the outside part of my lash. That's pretty good because I'm not focusing on length right now. I'm really just focusing about making this liner look like it goes all the way across, making sure my lashes look fuller. I mean, they look pretty bald over here. And so when you reload, you should always just swirl, don't pump. It'll give you more life. And so we're just wiggling and lifting, and you want to do this before it dries. You can do it while it's tacking, and you don't want to wiggle and come off because then it will create that thickness. Okay, a lot of people tell me I don't have hooded eyes, but from the side, I do. From the side, I look a lot older than I do from the front. So I am hooded adjacent because from the front, I'm not. You can see my lids, but from the side, I do have this. And I'm not changing the shape of my eye or my brows here. It's, you really just, if you have hooded eyes, you want to use all that real estate. Okay, so I've built up this product at the base. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's so hard to show. But then once you've built up your base, comb down on the tips of your lashes, and that's just going to add length, and then you're just building on top of product again, but on the tips, and that'll add some lift. I like fullness over length, and I don't want to have tarantula, so I'm stopping here because if I add more product, it's going to get really thick, and it could just be because I'm talking a lot. Okay, so we are going to wiggle at the base and lift, wiggle at the base. I want to know, because I talk about this every single live. I've even made it its own video. I'm going to say out the gate, I do seem, so I don't see myself disliking this unless I get a lot of fallout, and I really hope I don't. And so won't they stick together? That's why you don't do it. So if it starts to dry, stop building, because then they will start to stick together. But no, and it's because we're gonna wiggle and put the lashes into the comb, and then we lift up. So we're combing it up the lash, and our lash naturally has a bend to it. It is so hard. Do you see that natural bend? My nose. And when you pull up, it'll pop off mid-lash. And so we're gonna put this on, and we're gonna lift and lift and lift, and it builds the product on top without it clumping them together. Because you've wiggled them into the bristles, it's brushing it off. And then you wanna comb up and down onto the lash tips to build product. But once you start seeing that it might be getting ready to clump, stop. No, this is not QVC, but maybe I should be on QVC. My nose bend is cute. Thanks. I got it from my father. Anyways, that's my method with my mascara. No, it doesn't clump, but it's all about doing this, doing the coating before it gets too tacky. You're doing it as it's tacking, you're building and building. So you're building the product before it tacks, and it's just as it tacks, it gets a little thicker, and then you stop. Okay, all right, so I am not Italian. I'm nothing. I am nothing. I am a mutt, like everybody almost. I am some form of a mutt, but Italian is not in my genetics, I don't think. Anyways, we're not gonna get into that stuff. Okay, let's do our face. I'm gonna use the Milk Hydro Grip. And I'm gonna add a little bit of eye cream just to help clean things up and to give me a good starting point. I use this stuff. This is by Beauty Society. There is a link for it. It's called Upgrade. It's caffeinated. It has this nice little metal foot that's cold. And you just add a little dollop, and you get down here, and you just, buff that in. Under eyes need care. I was using Garnier, because they had a roller ball way back. That was way back in the 90s though, and the early 2000s. And then I used Oil of Olay when I was a teenager, because I was like, hey, if it's anti-aging, sign me up, and I'll just not age because it's anti-aging, right? Yes. Okay. So yes, you might not have been here for this. So yes, what I do to help them with it is I prefer Maybelline Tattoo Studio, and I do waterline, and I only waterline where there are lashes. So I don't go to the inner corner. I go where my lashes stop. I don't know. Let's get real gross here, but do you see? But do you see the liner is only where my lashes grow? Okay, and then I took a endpoint brush, which is just a pointy eyeshadow brush, very pointy, really good, and I took a black eyeshadow, and I only added on the outer quarter, outer half, and got it thicker as it went out to add length and lift, and so that's what makes it look thicker here. Does that make sense? And then we work on building more, and so it's little things that all piece together. You can skip the waterlining. If you're gonna do anything with the mascara, add that little bit. And I prefer a shadow over a liquid because, oh, honey, I knew there'd be one today. I could tell. We don't wear makeup for you. You poor thing. No, we aren't wearing makeup for you. Oh, no. Oh, somebody's got to tell him we wear makeup for us. I always wear makeup, even when I'm on my own. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel better. And I feel like my best self when I'm wearing makeup. Oh, boy. So makeup is nice. It gets us through the door. Oh, you were on the wrong life, sir. Okay. Oh boy, you know, we also get fake boobs for ourselves too. Because after we have kids, they're so sad. You want us to be our best selves when we're around you, and I feel like I am my best self when I am wearing makeup. It's gotten me out of the dark. I mean, when you look good, you feel good. And I've been with my husband for 15 years, and trust me, I'm not wearing makeup for him. He was choosing me yesterday. If anything, I feel my best that I can be without makeup around him and still feel great. Okay. Okay. Hello, Mrs. Barris. How is Mr. Barris? Okay. So back to the mascara. All I'm going to say is some people have really, hold on. There we go. Some people have really sensitive eyes and just simply cannot waterline. And so what I would recommend, if you cannot waterline, do not, and just add this. My camera was moving, but just add that little depth. And you could do that with an angle brush. You can do that. You don't have to have an endpoint brush. This one is just the perfect little size, but adding that little bit of depth is like one of those little things that makes the difference. Okay. I would love to be on QVC. Are you kidding me? Oh, that'd be bucket list kind of a thing. All right, we're gonna go into Milk Hydro Grip and we're gonna get our primer going. And you want something that has maybe a little bit of stick, but if you're ever in a jam and you're like, oh no, because I've done this where I forgot my Milk Hydro Grip, not the end of the world. Grab your setting spray. I love Professionals. I love Blue Marble. Those are probably my top two. I almost want to say the Professionals. I don't love the mist on it, but I think it's a film forming. You got to decide what you want. If you have really dry skin, a hydrating setting spray is great. The Plush and Prep Mist is a really good one by Saint, but I want film forming because I have oily skin. So I'm going to take my Milk Hydro Grip. We're just going to get this on and we're going to prime so our makeup has a little extra stuff to stick to and it just gives a nice smooth finish. And I've used setting sprays. I like to put setting sprays on my wash brush. Where is my wash brush? It's laying here and right in my face, and I just cannot find it. I might have thrown it back here. I did. The wash brush is part of the sale, and it's a really good one. You could spray setting spray on it and then put it on that way. And I do like doing that. Some people do both, but I prefer doing that because you get to concentrate where you're putting it. Okay. Let's see, 44th wedding anniversary. Congratulations. That is amazing. That's a goal for me. That is a goal for me. We've made it almost 15 years together. He's still alive. I'm still here. So, I mean, I'm not doing too bad. Okay, so I'm going to be using my correctors today. Do I add black liner into the inner part? I don't, because sometimes it works its way over. I don't. So you can see this last lash right here. I end just before that on my water lining because if I bring it down, it's going to transfer down here and it's just going to look gunky. And then it's going to start to migrate right here, and then it can make my eyes look more deep set and more mature. I get really finicky about the way I place things. So yes, I prefer black liner, but some people really like dark brown. It really just try different things and see what you like for you. I like black. I think it's a great color it's what I like. Okay, so let's get into a few things, and I'm going to use a new bronzer. It's Fiji. It's a highlight color and I love it. And I think I'm going to contour with it too. I did a tutorial on it and I did put it out this weekend and it was really good. Okay. If you don't like the black, there are some all browns are not created equally, but there are some really good browns to try. And I like the transferring of Maybelline Tattoo Studio. I have this one here and it's just not dark enough for me. It's Midnight Mocha and it's just a little too light, but you could also use eyeshadow. So if you use Saint, I would say snag yourself the etch brush if you haven't gotten it already. The mascara is a benefit pack. So far, I really like these two, but I don't know if Bad Gal Bang is gonna have fallout. But so far, FanFest has been my favorite. But I got this. This is a good bang for your buck. Okay, but what you can do is you can get the small end of the etch brush wet and go into some color. Spell, which is the color I have right here. Get this brush wet, dip into it, it deepens it, and you can waterline. But again, if your eyes are sensitive, skip it. And then you can make a wing with this brush with it being wet. But there are so many browns. Spell is great, Cocoa's great, Philly's great. Let's take a look at them. Let's see, some good eyeliners. So we've got Spell, which is very similar to Cocoa. Cocoa's a little bit deeper, but then there's also Philly. Philly's probably my favorite brown, but it's pretty close to Spell. It's more chocolatey. This one looks a little more burgundy. Another really good one for lining is Revival. This one's a little bit more on the burgundy side, but they're all in the same family. Do you see this? This is why we're having the sale. This is exactly why Saint is having a sale. Let's use this palette. All right, so we've got Revival here. Hold on, I'm just gonna slide some of these in. Boom, boom. Biscuits, man. These palettes, you get tins that get all misshapen. Not trigger. Okay, what other colors do we have that are similar? Look at this, they're all in the family. This is why Saint is having a sale and why some of the shadows are going away. Look at this, who needs this? Nobody. Nobody needs this, okay? Because they're all just too doggone similar. Another really good one is Eternal. Eternal in the family, a little more on the burgundy side. But then if you want to get into some more cool tones, you can get Trust as another really good one. Again, in the family, but definitely more cool toned. Any of these, oh wait, hold on, got another one. This one is off black, but it's called Coal. And so Coal would be a good one. Getting these wet will deepen them. So we can take Spell, okay, and we can add it on, okay, and then we can get the brush wet. Oopsies, that was too much. Wipe, wipe, wipe. Let me just get the handle wiped off, okay? So I'm going into basically what I have on the outer lid, so Spell, and then you get the brush wet, and it makes it darker. So you can easily make it an eyeshadow and then have it be an eyeliner. Any one of our eyeshadows can get deepened if you just get it a little bit wet, okay? So, but this is why Saint is having a sale. Because there are so many low sellers, because there's so many, like, do you need Spell if you have Philly? No. Do you need, but Spell is half off. It dries the color it puts on. It's not like paint. And so if you put it on, I just prefer black. So anytime I use, for me, I personally, where'd my brush go? I am blind as a bat. Ugh, where did it go? Biscuits. Okay, I'm gonna use a dry brush. So I personally, oh, this has, okay. Is this the color I want? I want Revival. Hopefully that is going to clear everything up. Okay, so I'm going to go into the shape brush right here, and I'm going to go into Aspen first, and I'm just going to tap in. You don't need a lot. It shouldn't be cakey. It should just look like your brush is a little dirty. And we're going to take this redness here, and we don't want our makeup to be that thick stuff. Okay, my freezing, tell me if it gets better It should get better. Okay. I am very zoomed in. I'm supposed to be very zoomed in. When you say I'm very zoomed in, I want my face in here, but if it's just an eye, but I want to be very zoomed in because I'm showing my stuff. So Lisa, okay. I think I did. Yeah, I want you to see I have pores and I have discoloration under my eyes, and I want to put Aspen on and show you all that. Happy birthday, Gunner. Okay, so we're gonna go in. I have hyperpigmentation growing up, and that's where suede is gonna come into play for me. And then I have darkness under my eyes right here, so we're gonna be correcting all of this and then going into makeup. But I wanna show how I take this touch of rosacea that I have here and my broken cat and help mute it. Okay, so my skin skins, and I want to show that on this is a raised issue right here. This is a active breakout. Okay, so we're gonna take that Aspen, still frozen. How am I still frozen? I shouldn't be. Okay, so we're gonna take this side first. We're gonna make this mute. The difference between muting is not covering. So you're still gonna see my spots, but the redness is gonna be down. So we're taking this brush and I'm just gonna sweep over it. Do you see that? But you see that I didn't turn my skin a shade of gray. My skin looks like my skin. The red is gone. I'm gonna take that over my chin here. You're still seeing the stuff, but it's not red. And that's cream. You should still see my scars. You should still see, because this isn't my skin color. That'd be ridiculous. This side is very red. I haven't put any on this side, but I just put it on the scarring that looked like this, and it's nice and muted. It's still there, but it's muted. Okay, so we're gonna grab a little bit more, and we're gonna come over here, and I'm just going on the apples of my cheeks because that's where my redness is. And again, we don't need to be turning our face one color. Okay. Just be kind when you, there's constructive criticism. Constructive criticism is always good. I like it. Makes me better. Okay. Don't worry about it. Okay, so we're gonna go right over here where I have my scarring. I used to get really horrible cystic acne, and I got lucky, whereas it didn't create a lot of texture. Like there's some people, Seal, who it's very textured from it, but mine just turned into red spots. So we're gonna take Aspen, and again, I'm sweeping over really lightly the redness. You see the spots going over broken capillaries over here. And then I'm bringing it down onto my red chin, over some scarring I have around my lips, active breakout, and I'm just gonna mute. And then when it's pretty much gone, my brows, I see it, I feel like I'm a little red there, and so I just sweep over this area. But that's why I do my brows last, is because I'm always biffing them up. Okay, so you should still see the discoloration. The fiery red gets muted down, okay? Yes, mine are pimple scars. Cystic acne is different than pimples. They're little cysts, and if you pick at them, you're gonna get something gross out, and then it leaves a volcano behind. And that's what happened with me. I didn't do a lot of picking. When I was a teenager, I used to get one on my chin, and they almost had to surgically remove it because it would get big, and then it would get small, and I almost got a fourth one. They were gonna remove it, but it never came back. Anyways, I get these dark red things. Anyway, so yeah, that's what works for that. But for my hyperpigmentation, I'm gonna go into suede. This is a lip liner. Here's what I like about these. They're creams and they're dense. And when they're creams, these are 80% pigmentation. And so you're getting really amazing coverage, but with minimal product. And that's what I mean when you don't want that thick and cakey makeup. This 80% pigment, everything here is foundation. Everything here is foundation. And guess what? Foundation. These are all 80% pigmentation. All right, so we're gonna go in and I'm gonna go into suede. This is 50% off. So right now I believe it's $8 and it's going away. I love this for hyperpigmentation. And I'm gonna put some on, and it's okay that it looks like this. And we're gonna take this hyperpigmentation. Now it's makeup, not magic. Makeup, not magic. Makeup moves, makeup does things. You touch your face, you use your phone, especially on a spot like this, it's gonna pick up, it's gonna move, and it's gonna thin out throughout the days. Makeup, not magic, okay? And so I'm just gonna go around this spot, and what I'm doing, instead of trying to cover this, I'm just going to make my skin look the same color. I've got hyperpigmentation right up here. This is new and so fun. And then I'm going to bring it up and I'm going to blend my hyperpigmentation into my skin, or blend my skin into my hyperpigmentation. And these are creams, they're 80% pigmentation, but these two colors are dense. And the density is what's going to help hold your makeup on top, because these are creams. They go on, if they look like butter, feel like butter, go on like butter, it's going to act like butter. It's makeup, not magic. Okay, and so remember, if you're just getting into makeup, if you're just getting into creams, be aware and don't touch your face. Okay, people do say that, and you should. If you put your primer on after, you do a setting spray after, but you can use it as a primer, and it does help with longevity of your makeup. But be realistic with the fact that you're putting makeup on top of your skin. It doesn't become that. Okay. You have a skin bump on your chin that's like a pimple because it will fill up with pus. Okay. Oh, sea breeze helps. I've heard that about sea breeze. I've never used it. I haven't gotten cystic acne in a long time. I will zoom out again when it calls for it. But I also like to not use a filter, and I like to zoom in. I want you to see my skin. I want you to see, okay? I want you to see what this makeup does on my skin, and I don't like to hide things. So I will zoom out in just a minute. Okay, what's my suggestion to help with summertime to make sure the makeup lasts? I'm gonna zoom out to talk about this one. Setting sandwich. Keep a set like this with you. This helps pick up. Get the blotting papers. Those are going away. Those are 50% off. But also, if you don't want to carry blotting papers around with you, and don't say this is gross, because I'm not saying use the used ones, but toilet liners that are right behind you while you're sitting on the toilet, grab one and you can blot your face with it. But a setting sandwich, getting a film forming spray helps. Setting spray. So here's what I say. Get a film forming spray. This one is really great. This one is a really good one. And one size is a really good one. Get this travel sizes to try them out and see what you think. This does come in a smaller size. All of these do. Always try things in a sample, or not in a travel size. But spray your face, put on your setting powder. I like the blotting powder, but if it's summer, Supergoop setting powder. It has SPF in it. And also pay attention to the kind of lotion you're using. Sometimes they're really greasy. If they are very greasy, I would recommend setting your makeup with an SPF rather than laying an SPF underneath. That's just me. Okay, and then get a hat. But set it, put the spray on, put the powder on, and then spray again. That's going to help reduce the powdery texture, and it's going to give you some longevity. But also, get one of these little palettes. Where to go? Where to go? I have so many. I am constantly using 3, but this one's part of the sale. Get it. I believe it's either 25 or 40% off. But get this and build it up like this. Woo! I have the blotting powder, and then I also have the vanilla dust and the blotting dust. So either of these or both, like I do right here, keep it in your purse. You can keep it with one of these. You can go and get yourself the shape brush that's part of the sale, and you can keep these in your purse, because if you're where it's hot, you're gonna need to touch it up, okay? What's the name of the one you suggested that's the most cost effective or cost efficient? Travel sizes. Travel sizes, if you're wanting, like, sometimes you get what you pay for, but there is one that's called, oh, here it is. This one I believe is $15. It's called Thank Me Later, but I do think you're getting what you pay for a little bit on it. I would say if you want a quality product at an affordable price, get it in the travel size. Get it into travel size. Also, I would say spray your brush with your setting powder spray and apply it this way. That way you're not using as much spray. You'd be amazed at how far you can get your setting spray if you spray a brush, and I'm going to do that later. Okay. I'm going back in. Blemishes. Blemishes, do not cover blemishes until all your makeup's on. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is my under eyes. I'm going to go into a balm. You can get the Aquaphor sticks. I like Saint's Balm, and I put this under my eyes, and this is going to help with creasing. Okay. All right, boom. Popping this on right here. Popping this right here. And what this does is it's going to give hydration, but it's also going to help with maturing eyes if you get a lot of creasing. This product right here, oh, what am I thinking? What's it called? It's not the shape brush. If you have a shape brush, if you have a blend brush, wash brush, if you have a wash brush, any of those work. I would recommend having a brush specific with products like that. But with the Saint sale, the wash brush is on sale, 50% off. So I think it makes it 20 bucks. All right. So having this, if you're a big fan of Tarte or NARS, this product lays really well underneath and will give that product longevity without so much creasing. Now I'm going to go into Daylily, which is a color that's going away. So this color is 50% off also. And I'm going to tap this into that balm, and I'm going to go up into my inner corner and then out. And this is canceling that darkness a bit, but I'm not adding that balm reduces texture. This, okay, sorry, but wouldn't that mix with the concealer? Doing this, yes, it will. And that's the point. You want it to mix with your concealer, because otherwise, what I noticed with Tarte, and I've tried a lot. So let's see, I get travel sizes. Tarte, I've used NARS. I think I gave my NARS away. And I've used the NYX Can't Stop, Won't Stop. I've used these, both heavily recommended. Yes, thank you for subscribing. Those crepe and they crease, they break down, and they slip around a little bit, and it almost looks like chipping paint. And it'll happen on your nose and it'll happen on your chin. But if you use the balm, a balm like Aquaphor is a good one, but I like Saint because it clips into my palette. But if you put that on as a base, it does mix with it, and it lets it do what the concealer does, but whatever is in their products that create that crepiness and that maturity, the crepiness, oh, the crepiness just kills me on my under eyes. And so if I mix it with that balm goes into it, and it works so good with it. So if you want to make a product, I mean, I've used, this is the Ultra Creamy, which everybody raved about, and it doesn't cover as much as I want. It's, oh, sugar pants. Okay. It's not 80% pigmentation. Saint is 80% pigmentation, which is why I like it. It's why I like it. I have also used Beauty Society. I know I'm zoomed in. Incognito. I do like it more than Tarte, and I don't need a balm with it, but I just don't get the coverage that I like. And if you have really mature under eyes, you want something that works with it. Okay, so I don't have it over here. I do have it over here, so it mutes it down. It's all about muting. All right, I've got kids, so you know, you find all kinds of other words. Frankenstein is my F word. Anyways, we're gonna pop this Daylily on, and we're gonna bring it up, and it's just gonna mute it down. Frenchie is another really good one. I was at a funeral, my grandfather's funeral, who is my everything. My grandparents are the reason I am the mom I am. Anyways, my daughter was in my husband's hands, and she was reaching for me, and I guess my husband thought I was taking her, and she grabbed my hair and pulled me back. She pulled out a ponytail of hair. I fell, and as I was falling back and turning, I grabbed one of my grandfather's friends by his coat. It was winter, and grabbed him, and I yelled Frankenstein in the middle of a funeral service. Anyways, sugar is for shit. So I prefer, yes, Biscuits and gravy, that's another one. Oh, biscuits. Oh, biscuits and gravy. And my kids now say sugar and biscuits. So, son of a biscuit, all the good things. Okay. All right. So, I've got all my correctors on, and now I'm going to do my makeup. So, to answer the question, why did I do my eyeshadow first? It's because if I get fallout, I have a pretty why can't I not think of the word? My brow bone, my brow bone, biscuits. My cheekbone, my orbital bone is pretty prominent. And if I put on eyeshadow that's dark, like this color here, and it hits right here, it's going to accentuate my trough and it's going to make my eyes sink in. It was a coat. I pulled the front. It was, oh my goodness. Anyways, rest his soul too. He saved me from falling in the snow at a funeral. Okay, but the reason I do my eyeshadow first is because if I get fallout, I don't want it making my eyes look more mature. I found pictures of myself when I used to do my eyeshadow first, and I would smile. Hi, zooming in again. I zoom in a lot on my lives. I have little fine lines coming in, and so if my eyeshadow falls into my makeup, it's going to start looking dark and more inset. And we already have, like, I can't get rid of this trough, but I don't want to enhance it. I don't want to accentuate it in a bad way. And so it was making my eyes look more mature than they were, and I hated it. I really don't smoke out a lot. I smoked out on this side and not on this side, and you can tell a little bit. And so I don't like to do my eyeshadow last because I think it makes me look older throughout the day. So that's kind of why. Okay, that is why, not kind of. It is. Okay. Hey, this is a great out the door, correct your stuff, head out the door makeup. Like, I'm going on a lunch date today, so it's my anniversary. My husband does not come to my YouTube. He is busy working so that I can sit here with you fine folks. Anyways, okay, on the sale, what brush is it? The wash brush. The shape brush, is not part of the sale, but the silver shape brush is always on sale because it's phasing out, and it's gonna be gold, and it's gonna suck. I don't like the gold shape brush. I bought it. It's right here. No, yes, no, wait. I have it here because I hate it. Like, I hate it. So this is the silver shape brush. You see how it has this nice domey side? This is the black one, which that was a gift from Saint to me. But I do have a gold. Oh, where are you? I might have just thrown it away because I was so mad at it. But I have a gold shape brush, and it looks, this is it. I believe. I know that's the shape brush. I can't find it, you guys. Forget it. They changed the shape, and it's this part right here. The most important end, the big end, this nice domey end, is going to be like this. It's very skinny, and I hate it. I hate it. That might be it, actually. Okay. Anyways. Hold on just a second. Okay. My husband does not care. My husband knows I can handle myself. He's like, if he sees me, whew. Okay, the silver shape brush is on sale. You like a more heavier, yes. The shape brush is great for powders, illuminators, correctors, but not if you like a medium to full coverage, yes. But it's also great for applying setting sprays if you want to do it that way. You actually like the gold shape brush now. I don't. So look, yeah, okay. So now we're gonna get into like actually putting on my makeup, and I am gonna use a highlight color as a bronzer because it's part of the sale. It's 50% off, so it's $8. I mean, we've bought dumber things for $8, right, guys? I mean, I know I do. Coffee. Oh, my word. Okay, so this is Fiji. And I did a video on this one the other day. I like this a lot because it's not as creamy or as warm as Bella, but it's so I love stone in the winter, okay? Live streaming is hard. I started doing this 2 years ago, doing a Monday live, and it was something I just did during the summer, and then I was asked to just do it all year, so now I do, and it's been amazing. I love it, but they are long. They are long. I'll have short form videos that come out, but I did just do a video just with Fiji. It's so good. And we are going to use, I'm going to use a shape brush. No, let's grab a 3D brush. A 3D brush is great. So this is a 3D brush, a great one and done brush. I might do my whole face with this brush. Fiji is creamy, but not like Bella. Bella picks up really warm, and it pulls me full Oompa Loompa. Like, I go orange real easy. And so this is a good medium coverage. And so we're gonna grab Fiji, and I'm gonna pop that up here. And I always start on this outer part because my hair after I had all my kids just never really fully came back the way it was supposed to. So I always push up into my hairline. But you see people grab colors and they do something like this. Nobody needs that. You can just add it just like this. But if you do, Muse might be, I should try Muse. Is Muse part of the sale? Lisa, is Muse part of the sale? Let's see. What did you put? Anything on your forehead like bronzer? I did correct with a little bit of that suede, and I do bring it up, but I don't apply a lot. But right over here, I have Fiji, and then now I have this smear of Fiji. It does blend down really easy, and that is nice. It's just more product than I need, but these blend really well. And that's why I say if you're where it's really hot, you need stuff with you just to keep it up. It's makeup, not magic. But do you see how it has like a really nice natural warm? It's so nice. You just don't need a lot, just enough. And it's buildable, so I can always go in and add more if I want to. Okay? And a lot of people like to have their rules. So I don't think that you can do just 2 colors on your forehead. So I put Fiji on my forehead, and now I'm gonna go into a color called June. I'm not gonna do this one. I feel like I've gotten enough sun that this pulls too much. If you go too light, you're gonna accentuate texture. So on the pointy end, I'm gonna grab some June, and I'm gonna put that right here in the middle of my forehead. And this is gonna be like my concealer. This is gonna be a color that's too light for my skin, but do you see this shine on my forehead? That's what it's gonna replicate. And all we need to be doing with ourselves is enhancing what's already there, okay? Let's see, hold on, let's see. I will have to try Muse. I need to see if it's part of the sale. Okay. Okay, so I put it on each side, and I blend it out to the outer part of my brow, and then I'll bring it up to the top. So there is a little bit up here, and then I'm gonna take this color that's too light, and I'm gonna push it down towards the mid of my brows, and then I can bring it outward. Now, 80% pigmentation, and so everything is a foundational coverage, so we don't have to turn our face one color and have so many caked on layers. Oh, you're talking about the Pilot brush. You're wanting this brush to come out. It's the 3D brush. They are coming out with this brush. I did get word. I had made a video for people to like, share, comment, and it has an eyeshadow brush on the inside. It's a cool brush. It is a very cool brush, and they are coming out with it, I would say probably around Christmas time. But, so yeah. Like a half circle Pilot brush, it's coming. No foundation on the forehead. Everything here is. This is foundation. This is 80% pigmentation. This is what we're doing, is working with tones that are already there. You don't have to turn your face all one color. You're piling too many layers on, and the more makeup you get, the more makeup texture you're gonna get. And makeup should be enhancing you, and your skin is a texture, and you can use that texture to your advantage. You could take that texture, and it can give you that dewy finish. So what I'm gonna do is, I have worked this lightness in, and now I have coverage, I have dimension, and balance. And it's all one layer, okay? Ooh, I love my heart ring too. It's a fun one. Okay, we're gonna take, this is how much foundation you need. Let's do some foundation. So I am in between shades, but this is my summer color hazel, okay? I'm gonna take this short end and I'm gonna go into hazel, and I have that scarring that we can see from where I put that aspen, and I'm gonna pop that on, and that's gonna be my coverage. Look at that. It's nice and light, and it doesn't look thick. Okay, I'm gonna take that hazel, tap into that June color just to lighten it a bit, and I'm gonna balance out. I don't contour this and this. So now I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna balance that out, and I'm just gonna bring that up and down using that coverage, okay? The good thing about good makeup is, and a good color match, so send me a face and we color match you, it should look like an eraser because it's the right color match. And so we just go around the mouth, clean things up. This is the only place on your face that you really need foundation. I bring it up a little higher to cover my scarring. But my blush, that Daylily color, that's gonna give it even more coverage. So you don't need to, yes, I will be contouring my nose. What you wanna remember is, one, bring your makeup down your neck, otherwise your neck will look like a different color and nobody wants that. So we started here, I have discoloration, and then it just balances out. And it's a nice, my skin texture is giving, I don't like powder illuminators. I don't like adding sparkle to my face. One, I'm oily, but two, my skin texture with cream makeup is my big thing. Okay, so taking that hazel, darker color, I'm going over my scarring here, into the crease. Okay, now I'm gonna go into that color and tapping once into a lighter shade. Okay, we're gonna balance out, give myself coverage over that hyperpigmentation right there, and then I just balance my skin out, and you build it. You'll do two things. You're either gonna under apply because you're scared to over apply, or you'll over apply. I looked like a birthday cake when I first got this makeup because I'm so used to traditional foundation that was cracking and gathering. I had a crack here, cracks on the side of my mouth. It was creping and chipping off like paint. And it was because, one, I was a face toucher, but two, I was using a makeup that wasn't working with my skin. And creams in general work better with your skin. Using Saint is better in my opinion because it's 80% pigmentation and $16 a color. Right now there's a sale. People are gonna ask, we don't need to worry about it. Okay, but when you're working with a makeup that has high pigment, you're not gonna get high pigmentation that's 80% like Saint. Everything else is roughly 40% pigmentation. I'm talking about, I have other ones that I've tried. The one I have found that gave me the best coverage, I've tried Merit, I've tried OG, I've tried Beauty Society, not enough coverage. Not enough, not even 40%. Hourglass, I did try. This one had good coverage, not as good as Saint. Okay. So, let's get back into makeup. This is all the foundation you need. You just have to balance this lower part of your face where you're not blushing and bronzing and contouring. Okay, we're gonna go back into Fiji, and I'm gonna go into my 3D brush. And I'm gonna smile, so you see this natural right here. Boom. There's this natural, I need to stop looking at comments for a minute. I have a natural shadow. We're gonna stay above it. If we go into it, it's gonna pull everything down. We wanna add some lift. So we're gonna go into Fiji, and I'm gonna put this right here like a bronzer. And we're gonna put this on the cheekbone, on the outer part, and I'm gonna go up the temple to go meet what's up here, just to have cohesivity. And we're gonna bring it down. And I smile like a weirdo, and we put that on. And it adds that little chisel of a lift, and I like it. But we're not done. We're gonna get on this side here. This color works really well with hyperpigmentation, but it works well as a bronzer, a bronzer. And I'm gonna bring this up, I'm gonna bring this down. It did pull some of my scarring through. right there, but that's okay. And then I can just bring this down. I do things in a very specific, I like to be zoomed in. Let's just get that out of the way. I am zoomed in, and I'm doing it because I have nothing to hide. My skin is my skin, and I think it's about time people share about makeup and be zoomed in. That's why we do Monday Lives. Okay, on my nose, I do everything in a very specific order. My eyes are usually last. It just wraps things up really nice. I'm gonna pinch this end. We're gonna go in and we're gonna go down here. So if you are where it's hot, you don't need to be bronzing or contouring up here on your nose. Pressed highlights or liquid ones. If you're are you talking about shimmer? I don't use any. I use eyeshadows. I really like using Drift. As You Wish is another really good one, but I prefer using eyeshadows. I would bet, and I've been wrong before, that these powder illuminators that are going away will come back as an eyeshadow. All right, so we're gonna blend this down. I bridge it across because I have a bump, okay? And so I bridge it across and then I can bring it up because we are gonna wear sunglasses. And so when you're doing that, you want the least amount of product up in this area, and that pigmentation, that's 80%, you need a little. And it looks like a lot, it's just because it's a dark color. Just because it's a dark color, so there we go. Look at that. I have a nice big brown nose now. And so we're gonna go into our highlight colors, and you know how I brightened right here? I'm gonna go into that same color with the pointy end. I'm gonna highlight right here, and I'm gonna highlight right here. And that's because this is where light reflects, and we're gonna enhance those reflecting light areas. All I'm doing here is just adding an accent. So this is why when you have a breakout or a scar, we aren't gonna address it until after our makeup's on, because sometimes when you put something on, it's just gonna mess it up anyway, okay? Yes, I'm gonna add it to the nose. And so I always do things with a very specific step to it. And so at the end, I will address anything. If my scarring's pulling through in a certain area, I can fix it at the end. That way I don't end up with too much makeup on my face, because too much makeup looks like too much makeup. All right, we're gonna go to this pointy end. I'm gonna tap in, and I'm gonna draw a straight line down the middle of my nose. And then I'm gonna use my finger, and that's it. Now my nose looks like a nose again. And if you need to add more, because I wanna add more, you add more. It's your nose, it's your face, do what you want, but look at that straight nose. You don't even see the bump anymore. Okay, I'm gonna stick with that little pointy tip. I'm gonna go into Fiji. I'm gonna go right here, under my lip. You know when people outerline their lips? Everybody sees it. Everybody sees, especially right here. Just reminds me of like a birthday clam a little bit. I just can't when people outer line. So outer line, just like that, okay? And then buff it out, and it turns it into a shadow. Right here, get a little Gomez Adams and tap it out. And what this does is it looks like my lip has a curl now. Look, it looks like a little fake shadow. And on my lip, it looks a little bit fuller. It's my favorite trick. It's my parlor trick. Okay, so, I don't know. These are just, take what you want and leave what you don't. If you don't like something I'm doing for you, then you shouldn't do it. It's not one size fits all. It's try things. It should be fun. Makeup should be fun, or we're doing it wrong, okay? Okay, blender sponges. Oof, hot topic, man. I'm not a fan. I think it picks up too much product, and I like a more medium to full coverage makeup, but there's some people who do feel like it gives everything a really good blending. So it's don't buy Saints. Go get an L to be reset by now. Okay, so I'm not gonna need to be all zoomed in quite yet anymore. So we're gonna take a brush. This is either the shape brush or the wash brush. They all look the same. The wash brush has a longer end here, so I think this is the shape brush. I'm gonna spray both sides of the brush. You don't need a lot. This is gonna save you product, especially if you're trying to be more budget friendly and you're gonna get a travel size. Spray a small fluffy brush and then tap this over your texture zones. Under your eyes, smile lines, get that nose where you get greasy, get that cheekbone if you get greasy there. Any e.l.f. sponge, get just any e.l.f. sponge, pick a shape. They're all good. They're all good. I like the ones that come with a big one and a small one. I gave the small one to my daughter because she likes to play with makeup. But you just take this and you'll be amazed how far you can spread your setting spray doing it this way. And it makes makeup fun. Like you feel fancy. Like, oh, look at me putting on my setting spray like I'm bougie. Okay, now we're gonna go in with our powder. I use the blotting dust. Here's the difference. The powder looks like powder. The blotting dust has so you can see the difference in texture just based off of my fingertips. Okay, all right. You're in a different room. No, I just zoomed out. Or you're in a different room, not sure. But no, I'm in the same room. I'm just now zoomed in. Okay, so we're gonna take that same brush that I sprayed with the setting spray and I'm gonna go into my blotting dust. And then I start from the outside and I work my way in because I don't like to apply powder directly to texture. My forehead has texture because I don't do the Botox. And so we're just patting that on. We're gonna go into that blotting dust again. I'm gonna start at my temple and then I bring it down and then into the smile line when I think it's empty. And then when I really think it's empty, I'll go to my under eye. Do you see the difference? It's muted. I'm greasy. I'm an oily girl. And so I like to have powder that's gonna work with my oily skin. And I have to keep powder with me because I do need touch up because again, it's makeup, not magic. And so we're gonna go into that blotting dust again, starting at my temple because that's my low texture area. And then I bring it down my cheek. I bring mine on this side way down because I put my phone up here. And then I bring it over and then I'll bring it up. Why do women put on makeup? Didn't we covered this already? We could all say this together to our phones because we feel good when we wear it. That's why. When you are wearing glasses, I don't think I have some. Oh, I do have my sunglasses in here. So what I like to do, all of our glasses, they get like this, okay? So wipe them clean because again, if it looks like that on your glasses, that means it's picked makeup off your face. So what I like to do is I take one of these little poofs, I grab some setting powder and we tap it on our nose pads, okay? And then you can take it and you just tap a little bit on your nose pad here, let it sit, bake a little bit, if you will, and then tap it out. Okay. Person with makeup. I'm a nicer person with makeup. Anyway, so then when you go outside, you just put on your sunglasses and you'll have less pickup, but you're gonna sweat. Things are gonna move. This helps, but keep makeup with you. Okay. Okay. I did go reset my internet, but if you're wearing glasses, put the setting powder on the nose of the glasses, put and bake a little on your nose, and it will help. Will it fix the problem? No. It's makeup. It's not magic. If you're where it's hot and you're gonna sweat, it's gonna happen, but those are some really helpful tips. Okay, let's do our under eyes. Let's do our under eyes. And then we'll put some lips on and some brows on. And so for the under eyes, I like to use the shape brush. The best. That one is my favorite. Here we go. I like this little small end. And I'm gonna go in to June. It's just the lighter color for me. So here's the deal with that. Hey, back into zooming. So we are gonna look at the natural shine of our, look at my scarring. Can we remember where we started? Okay, so see this natural shine on my cheeks? Okay. So we're gonna take that shine and we're gonna pop a color right there and enhance that shine. I call it filling the happy bucket because you really only see this shine when you're smiling. So we put that in to our little happy bucket and we are gonna live outside of the trough. Okay, so we can bring this up to that inner corner and cover that darkness because we had put that balm on and we put that daylily on, okay? And then we can bring this shine up that orbital bone. We are not in the trough. You want the least amount of makeup here. I'm gonna make this its own tutorial again because it's been a while. So that'll come out this week. Texture is texture. You can't make a mountain a plain. Texture is there no matter what. And you can either enhance it or you can accentuate it. It's up to you. This is the hammock of your face. You've got your orbital bone holding this side, so this is a tree, and your eyeball's the other tree, and this is your hammock. It's soft tissue. The more you tug and pull at it, the more mature it's gonna get. The more product you put in it, it's going to crease. It's like those paintings that you used to do as a kid where you put the paint on, then you fold it, and it doubles it. That's what a crease is. It's a doubled amount of product because you smiled. That's why Kanye doesn't smile, I guess, and make it look old. But anyways, if you put a little amount and you have that balm on, you're not going to get that creasing. So you put everything on outside of that trough. And then when this is all blended and all pretty, do you see how adding like a little lightness looks like I have shimmer on? My skin texture is my glitter. My skin, the days of filters to look like we don't have a skin texture is gone. Okay, love your skin texture. It's what makes your makeup look good. Don't pat it down with powder to look like a chalkboard, because then you're gonna look like a chalkboard. And we're not a chalkboard. So now that we've put this on, we can start pushing this by tapping and bringing it to the soft tissue last. Less is more. And this is where we clean up all the fallout from the eyeshadow. And do you see the way that that sunset, that orange and that pink have now popped just by adding that? One leads to the next. We don't need to adjust anything until everything's on. All right? There we go. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, grabbing that June again, and I put it in the happy bucket. Now I'm just gonna bring a little bit up to give myself some coverage in my darkness here. And then I can grab it and pull it up that orbital right here. And I'm going in an upward motion because I want to lift my eye. And I use my brows. I'm going to make my brows lift my eye too. But we put all this on and then we get that hammock. Okay. And I know, Misfit, you like your brightness to come down. Bring it down. I know you like a more bold brightening. Okay. Done. Done. Now we can go in and we can do like little touch-ups. This is where you look at your face and you're like, how's my zit? How's my scarring? How's it look? And then you can go in and do little fixes. Little tiny little fixes. So I'm gonna go find a little tiny brush. Where's a little tiny? I've got one somewhere. Oh, cheese and crackers, man. You're like, ah. Okay, I'm gonna take my main darker highlight here and I'm gonna go right there to that zit. You wanna use your darker shade on a zit, not a lighter shade. But remember, you can't make a mountain a plain. So I just tapped a little bit of my main highlight on. Now I'm gonna go into that powder, that blotting dust, and you could use your finger or you can use a brush. And you're just gonna tap it on. Gone. Okay, let's pop on a brow. I'm gonna do one and explain it because this is flipping long. Anybody stuck with me this whole time? I appreciate you. So we're gonna change the shape of our eye with our brows. I was an overplucker in the early 90s. Okay. Good grief. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so we're gonna I use two eyeshadows. This is Trust, this is Oak. If you are a one shadow person, Saint does have a 50% off palette. It looks like this and it holds a single shadow. A single shadow. So it can be your brow shadow. I'm gonna go in, I like the darker shade the most, and we're gonna structure. I like a structured brow. So I'm gonna go from where, look, this is where my brows on my arch stop, okay? And then my brows pretty much stop here, and there's like a single hair right there. This is my brow. Ew. So I'm gonna go in and my brow stops right here. So I'm gonna have my brow actually restart here. I just biffed that, okay. That's what I'm gonna do, is I'm gonna add that, and I'm gonna draw this hard line, and my brow stopped here, but I'm instead gonna extend it way out there. And then I'm gonna come a quarter of the way in here where it's a little thin, and I'm gonna draw an arch. And I'm looking at where I have a few hairs growing where there is a natural arch, but my over plucking days, because I wanted to look like Pamela Anderson from Baywatch when I was too young. And now I'm just gonna pull those lines in. And so because I wanted to look like Pamela, my brows are just a little over plucked. So right now I'm just taking this dark line and I'm bringing this up, 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 blending it out and blending it in. It's doing two things. I'm blending that hard line down, but I'm also bringing it to the mid of the brow. And then I'm gonna take this brush, I'm gonna clean up that, and I'm gonna comb it upward and out. I don't have really long hair, so I don't use a wax, but look at that brow. This needs to be a little straighter for me. Yeah, I'm gonna go into Oak, that lighter color, and I'm just gonna straighten here. Boom. Okay. Boom. Structured brow. Oops, wrong side. Structured brow, old brow. Both look fine, but I prefer the structured brow. Okay. Let's see. In real life, these brows aren't that good looking. Okay. But also, I like my good big ass structured brows. And Z Nation, you can ask anything as long as it's appropriate. I don't have to answer everything. So it depends on your question. Okay, so this is a makeup tutorial and we keep it clean here. Okay, so I'm just building that out. And once you figure out how you like your brows, it goes on a lot faster than when I over talk. Okay. So we're just gonna comb that up. We're gonna comb that out. And that's not a question I'm gonna talk about. That's not what this is about. Okay, so there's my brow. See how quick it goes on when you're like, it's really not a big deal. Okay, so let's go into that Fiji color and we're gonna line our lips with it. So we outer lined and buffed it out to make them look a little bit more structured. And I'm just gonna line my natural lip. I'm not outer lining, I'm just lining. Okay, so we just line the lips. Okay. The mascara I used today is the Bad Gal Bang in a travel size. I like travel sizes. So far, my favorite has been Fan Fest, though. I haven't gone through the day with this other one, so I don't know how the wear is on it. And now we're gonna line the bottom lip right there. I like playing with my brows. You know, I've done some brows for a wedding, and I will say over structuring brows on a wedding is great because they play down in pictures. I had a bride that was like, nope, I want natural looking brows. I'm like, you're not gonna like it. So I had her come over and I did it ahead of time, and then I had her take her she was also did pictures. I go home and go take some professional pictures with your camera. And then you tell me you don't want structured brows. We did structured brows on our wedding. Okay. Okay, so I've lined my lips with Fiji, which is also my bronzer, which is also my contour, which is also my lip shadow. And I'm gonna go into a color that's part of the sale, and it is called Carousel, and it is frosty and pink and lovely. Okay, here's one thing about my makeup page. I try to stay pretty positive, and I try to be pretty good at asserting myself in a positive way. But in my makeup world, nothing's on fire. I don't talk about any of that stuff. Nothing is on fire in my makeup world. The world is a happy makeup place, and that's where I leave it, so I don't get into those nitty-gritties. But if nobody knew, now you knew. I never talk about politics or religion or anything. As long as you are kind, you are welcome. All are welcome here as long as you are kind, and the world is not on fire here. And that's it. Okay, I don't know if I need to be this zoomed out, or zoomed in, so we're gonna zoom out a little bit, but this is Carousel. It's a semi-gloss. It's a pink with a shimmer to it. You do have to dig into it. The eyebrow pencil is not a pencil, it's an eyeshadow. All right, this is the color, and it's so pretty. So we have Fiji on the lips. You really got to dig into Carousel, and it is on sale. So this is an $8 color. You can use it as an illuminator. I'll pop it on. So first, let's put it on the lips with Fiji, and it makes just this really pretty soft lip. And because it's a semi-gloss, it's a bit more hydrating. But after the sale is over, I want everybody to go and check their points, because if you have 200 points, you need to go get Sprinkles lip oil. It's basically free. You just pay for shipping, which is $4.95. Or you go and buy yourself $50 worth of makeup and slap that in there too. Okay. But that's that color. You could do this. If you're into shimmers, go grab this guy and you could put it on your lips. I think this is a really pretty lip. Oh, and you can tap it on your cheek here, and you can have a soft shimmer, but your skin texture is your best thing. But if you like a little bit of shimmer, you can totally take Carousel and do that. Okay, would you recommend the Pixie blush? It really is being hyped so much. I'm never gonna yuck a yum. And I do think it's probably a really great product. I don't do powders. I just don't. I think it can enhance texture. It can change powder is like gravy, okay? I mean, let's think about that. And so anytime you add powder to a product, you're gonna thicken it. And that's all there is to it. And so you're gonna thicken your makeup in whatever area you put it on. And so if you're wearing a lot of makeup and you put a powder blush on, that area might look thicker. And that's just what I think. I mean, I used to use Hoola as my setting powder, the Hoola bronzer, but I was in my 20s and I could get away with that. And I was a sun bather and it matched my skin really well because I love my summer tans. I love a good summer tan. And Hoola, back when I could, I say try it. I haven't tried it and I have a hard time. I haven't tried. I'm not going to yuck a yum. But now I want to try it. So maybe I'll try it. It's not? Well, then try it. It's not powder? Well, doggone. Hoola bronzer. You know, the guy at Benefit laughed at me when I told him I used it as my bronzer. I go, put it on me. Put it on me. And he did. And he's like, oh. It looked really good. But I get very tan in the summer. It's not powder. Hoola bronzer is powder, but I'm gonna try I'll go get the Pixie and I'll try the Pixie and I'll give myself a review. I also don't like to get on here and talk trash about other makeup brands, because I just don't think if it's bad on me, it's bad on everybody. No. Now I want to try it. Okay, I'll try it. And we'll try it on a live and I'll give my opinion. So that's my Monday live. This is probably my longest live, but it was a fun one. We got into some really good things. Women wear makeup for themselves. They are not for men. You know what I always tell my husband? Like, my makeup got me through the door. Like any job. We dress better for our interviews. We try to look our best on our dates. But then our personality's got to keep us inside. So my makeup only gets me so far. If I've got a crap personality, my makeup is pointless. So I always say, do what makes you feel your best, because then you'll be your best. And if that's with makeup, great. If makeup is what's going to pull you from the dark, because I've been in some dark places, and makeup, a bag of barbecue lays and makeup will change my day when I'm in the dark. And so makeup is for us. Do you, and take what you want, leave what you don't. That's what I always say. When you're watching people doing makeup, take their inspo. I watch things all the time for inspo, and then I get on here and I do it with Saint. I like Saint makeup. I love Saint makeup. I've been using this makeup for 6 years. No woman does anything for 6 years if they don't like it. I mean, my first marriage lasted 6 months. So no woman does anything for 6 years that they don't want to do. And I genuinely love the makeup. So if you want to try it, message me. There's a link in the description. You can fill out the form, click on the mail envelope thingy, and you can absolutely message me and we can talk. I am 44. I'm going to be 45 this year. It's a tough number for me, but my makeup will get me through it. So that's it. I'm going to go pick up my daughter for her ortho and then go on an anniversary lunch. Have a great day.